I've been on the continent of Africa before, but never to Ethiopia, even though I usually fly Ethiopian airline. So this time I decided to book an 11-hour layover so I could have the chance to actually explore Addis. I'm really excited about this journey. My journey to Ethiopia will take 17 hours. So, to survive this very long flight, I have food service, watch a couple of movies, eat, have a couple of drinks, and sleep. I can't tell you how excited I am to be in Ethiopia. Founded in 980 BC, Ethiopia is one of the oldest nations in the world. My guide is very knowledgeable on the history of Ethiopia and tells us some extremely interesting facts. Like, did you know that Ethiopia is the only African nation that was never colonized? While briefly occupied, it has never actually been colonized. Also, I was very surprised to learn how large Ethiopia was. I know I was only visiting one city, but the actual size of it is as big as France and Spain combined. Like that, it's extremely large. Our very first stop is to visit the National Museum where the fossil Lucy is housed. Ethiopia is the cradle of mankind, so our earliest ancestors were found buried in the soil of this amazing country. The most famous, of course, being Lucy, who is 3.5 million years old, but an even older remains were found in 2001 that were over 5 million years old. It's really amazing to see something in person that I learned about in my history books. I'm fascinated as I look at Lucy. She has become such a marker for our origins that I cannot help but wonder who she was in her community. What role did she play in her society? Who was this woman? Who was Lucy? Of course, these are questions that we will never have the answer to, but looking at her teeth and her jawbone, I can definitely tell that this was a human. We're getting ready to have some delicious Ethiopian food. We're in the Lucy restaurant. Lucy chilling right there. Hey, Lucy. I like her. Well, Lucy is fly. Yes. She got her owl print on. She's like it shows so off her nails too. We're gonna eat some local cuisine. We asked not to be taken to like a super touristy place, so we will see. This is the restaurant. I'm gonna see here in Ethiopia. Okay, we gonna see what we got going on here. We couldn't finish it all. But it was delicious. Our next stop is to visit one of the oldest Christian churches in Addis. Ethiopia adopted Christianity in the 4th century, making it one of the oldest Christian nations in the world. We remove our shoes as a sign of respect before we enter into the church. We learn that Ethiopia adopted Christianity in the 4th century, making it one of the oldest Christian nations in the world. Ethiopia is also mentioned over 40 times in the Bible and is one of the few countries mentioned in the Bible, Quran, Homer's Odyssey, and many other ancient books because Ethiopia is just that old. Ethiopia is also famous for claiming that it is the final resting place of the Ark of the Covenant and the chest containing the 10 Commandments that God gave Moses. It's fascinating to learn about the history of Ethiopian Christianity on the continent of Africa. I also learned some other amazing facts about Ethiopia, such as that they calculate time and the date very differently than we do in the Western world. So this is the most interesting thing ever. It is July 24th, 2010 in Ethiopia. So they're on a 13-month calendar. They follow the calendar that they believe was the original calendar and not the one that the Western world accepted. So it is July 24th, 2010. So I have officially, through traveling to Ethiopia, traveled back in time. So I'm here in Ethiopia and in 2010. After a pretty long day, we decided to make our final stop to the famous Mercato Market in Addis. As we drive to the market, our guide tries to prepare us for what to expect once we arrive. The market is huge, much bigger than I expected. Miles and miles of shopping, and you can buy just about anything here. But of course, we can't leave without trying a traditional cup of Ethiopian coffee. So we're getting ready to try traditional Ethiopian coffee. You know, coffee was actually discovered in Ethiopia. So they heat it up over some kind of flame. You're getting it. Washing some dishes. Okay. Oh my God, I can just smell it. It is so strong. Yeah, that should be good. Go ahead. So we're having Ethiopian coffee at the market. My visit to Addis is complete, and I must now head back to the airport. My time was short, so I only got to explore a very tiny part of this country. But even for this brief visit, I am fascinated by the history that exists on this soil. I look forward to coming back and exploring more of Ethiopia.